Hello everyone, in this video we will learn about how can we retrieve data from a database table via query builder. If you recall, previously we created a database table. If I open my database manager, in here we have this post table and we put it some dummy data in this post table, right, via seeders. Now we will learn how can we retrieve this data with query builder. Let's open our code editor. I'll open a controller, let's say HTTP controller. Let's say I will work with home controller. If you recall, we have a home page, we have a home route. If I open web, in web route, we have a home route from our previous videos, right? Now let's open our project. For that, I will go to Laravel and serve my project www, then select your project. That will serve your project, right? Now from the URL, I will go to home, and you can see here is our home page that we created before, and in the controller, this home route is calling this controller, right? Let's open that controller. So in here we have a invoke method and we are looping this array at our front end, right? So for example, let's remove those, okay, and let's say return hello for testing. Let's refresh our page. You can see I'm getting the string hello. Let's work here for testing. Now first of all, we have to import our DB wizard before we work with query builder. So for that, we have to say in the top use, we have to import our DB wizard first. Use illuminate, then support, then we will say wizards, then we will call the DB class DB. Okay, we have to import this DB wizard at the top, then we can use it in our controller. Okay, remember we previously installed some plugins, right? So we don't need to type our class at the top. We can just go to our method and say DB, and you can see we have the recommendation. If I click here, you can see the DB wizards is imported automatically, right? So all the query builders queries start with DB. We will first of all call this DB wizard, then we will say colon, then there is a method. The method name is table. Okay, in table, let's close it. In table we have to specify the table name, right? If I go to my DB manager, you can see here is our table and the table name is post, right? So we have to mention the name posts. Okay, now we will retrieve all the post data. We have around 53 or 52 rows here, and we will retrieve all of them. So how can we do that? We selected our database table, right? So for retrieving the table values, we can use a arrow operator, then we will say get. So we are calling this get function. Now what this get method does, it will grab all our data from our database and give us a collection of it. Then we can use that data anyhow we prefer, like we can use it on loop or anywhere. So let's return this query. I am returning this. So if I now go to my front end and refresh, you can see we are getting the data, right? Here you can see the ID, title and description and status and publish date and user, and we are getting the all data. So let's go to our code editor. So that's how you retrieve all of your data from your database table. Currently we are retrieving all of our data from the table. We didn't mention how much data we want or what kind of data we want, right? So we can also mention that, like if I want to retrieve a single data, so how can I do that? For that, let's see, in the database manager, let's say I will retrieve this id 7 data. So now we will be not using get method, because as I said that get method send us a collections, right? And collections are like arrays. So we are getting the multiple datas at one hit. So basically now we are planning to get a single data, right? So for that we can use find method. So what find method does, you can in find you can pass a id, your row id, and it will grab that data for you, right? Now if I say as I selected one data, so its id is 7, so if I pass 7 here, okay, now if I go to my front end and refresh, you can see it sends me a single data and the id is 7, right? So we are able to retrieve a single data from database, right? There are also another methods, like if I go to again and make it get and refresh, you can see here is all of our datas. Now suppose I want to get this first data, so what I have to do, and I don't have the id of it, so I can easily do it by saying first, and it will give me the first data of the collection. Now that's how you can retrieve your data from database easily via query builder. You can see the convention is pretty easy. You just have to call the db wizard, then you have to select your table name, then you can just retrieve your data via get method, or you can use id, and there is also where clause. We can talk about them in our future videos. For this video, that's it. See you at the next one.